Hello, and welcome to SoulFessions. I'm your host, Molly Ray. To live a life full of joy, happiness, and connection, to connect with our most authentic self, we must be willing to confess where we are in life. I have worked through many traumatic life events, including giving birth to twins 3 months early. My healing began when I was ready to confess exactly how I was feeling and the work I needed to do to release the pain. I honored my feelings and used my loving connection with music in the healing process. Join me as I speak honestly about my journey and how you can begin your journey of healing and finding joy. It all starts with a SoulFession. This podcast was recorded on March 5th. I was given the guidance to wait to release this podcast until the time was right and have been guided to release it now. May you all stay healthy and be sure to check out my page, Tune In with Molly, as I am offering live sound healing events multiple times a week to help reduce stress and promote relaxation during this time of great change. Hello, it's Molly. Thank you so much for tuning in with me today. The last 2 weeks for me have been quite interesting. I'm feeling a lot of movement in terms of my own personal development and growth. I've been having a lot of crazy dreams at nighttime, which leave me waking up contemplating what they're about and what I need to work on in my life. And some people that I have spoken to around me are experiencing very similar things. So I want to talk a little bit today about how our fears can get in the way of our forward movement and of achieving accomplishments and goals. And stick around to the end of this podcast as I will be sharing a soul-moving singing bowl creation for this podcast. So I was just speaking today to a friend about finding your tribe. And I know for me personally, what's been really interesting and I'm sure others have experienced this as well, that as we go through certain stages in our life, our tribe can change. And sometimes you can have people who stay in your life forever. Sometimes you can have people who come and go. And sometimes people just come in to help you on your soul growth. And whenever both of you have received whatever lessons you are to learn by knowing each other, a lot of times that person will leave. And the interesting thing about relationships is a lot of times we have this perception that we can only let go of relationships when the relationship has gone sour. But really, in essence, if the relationship doesn't feel like it aligns with where you are on your path in life, it's just as okay to let that relationship go, and you can still love and care about that person, but that does not necessarily mean that you're in alignment with one another. So that leads me to this whole idea of finding a tribe that fits where you are currently in life. And for me, I've been living in this current season where I really had to let go of a lot of people just so that I could spend time with myself. I know I've said this before in previous podcasts, but I'm definitely the kind of person that is very much a giver. And many times I give, but I don't open up myself to allow receiving. So by the time I give, there's often nothing left for me out of my own love cup. And if I'm not allowing a balance of giving and receiving, then I find myself very exhausted and very lonely. So there really does need to be a true balance. And what I want to stress as well is doing things for others doesn't mean that there should be an expectation to receive something. That's not what I'm trying to say. What I mean by allowing yourself to receive is that anytime we give, we have to always allow ourselves to be open to receiving in whatever way that's meant to look like. So for instance, you could help somebody out, and the receiving part of that could just be the hug and the thank you. Or it might be years before you receive from what you gave. But if you're never open to allowing yourself to receive, or if you do not allow yourself to be open enough to see the receiving that you are getting, a lot of times that can just really create burnout and exhaustion. And I got this beautiful message today as I was talking about how people perceive you as an individual. Because right now, I recognize that I'm in this season where I have to spend more time with me. But I also, in recognizing that, realize that when it is time for me to allow new people in, I want to allow people in my life who can see me for who I am and who are able to support me and to love me in who I am, in the essence of who I am. But the message I got today was this: people perceive us through the way we show ourselves, through our fears. I'm going to say that again. People perceive us through the way we show ourselves, through our fears. And the meaning behind that is if we are afraid of being alone, and this is a fear that I've worked on. If we're afraid to be alone, a lot of times what will happen is we push people away. And when we push people away, then the people that we would like to be around us aren't there. And a lot of times what will happen is we'll ask ourselves, why are these people no longer in our lives? Or why aren't these people contacting me? But in that fear of being alone, we are literally putting that out into the universe of, I want to be alone. It's as if the universe is challenging us to get over the fear. And people will see us through what our fears are. And what I mean by that is, say for instance, there's someone in your life that perhaps acts like they know everything. Many times what I have found through this experience is it's not that the person thinks that they know everything. It's that there's a lack of confidence in who they are, and they make up for that by appearing as if they know more than they do, because they don't want to be judged for not knowing things. And therefore, when they come off as knowing everything, the perception of the person around them, they automatically think, well, that person thinks they're a know-it-all. No, that's not really what it is many times. Now, I'm not saying that this is an example where this is always true, but it is something that I have observed, that we will carry ourselves around other people and show them our fears, even though we are trying so hard to not show those fears. And a lot of times when someone comes up to you and says things like, why are you so cold? Or why are you so closed off? Or why are you so shy? Or anything like that. And if you have a tendency to maybe get offended, where you feel like, wow, that person doesn't get me at all, it might be a good time to really step back and look at it from the other person's perception, because they are being honest with what they are seeing from you. And even though we may not think we're coming off a certain way, many times we are. Fear can really set us back from being able to truly live our most authentic lives. And if we're not willing to take the time to be honest with a fear we may have, then you're never going to be able to work through it. So for me, I have a fear of being accepted for who I am. I know that I have this large light around me when I allow myself to shine. When I really, truly allow myself to be fully connected with who I am, I know that I can be larger than life. I am afraid. I'm going to breathe through this for a minute. Because speaking the fear means that you have to face it. And a lot of times it's so much easier to push the fear down and not confront the tears or the pain or the negative feelings that are associated with that fear. But I am afraid that if I truly allow my light to shine, that no one's going to like me. And when I say that out loud, in my rational brain, it sounds absurd. Like, it just sounds absolutely ridiculous. Because in my rational brain, I know that if I'm always true to who I am as a person, if I always allow my light to shine, then I will attract the people in my life who are meant to be in my life. And sometimes, in saying that, the scariest part about coming clean with your fear is the fact that there may be some people in your life that aren't meant to stay in your life. But you don't want to accept that. Because maybe these are people that at one point in time you felt were very important and should be in your life. But I say this often. We are the only people that live with ourselves. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. If we're unable to be truly authentic and to truly honor who we are as people, then we'll never be able to find true happiness within ourselves. And once you can find true happiness within yourself, all the other pieces around you fall into place. But when you're holding on to things that no longer serve your higher purpose, your higher good, then you're never able to truly find your true north, your true happiness, your true connectiveness to yourself. And as I work through my fear of just allowing myself to be big and allowing whoever comes or stays or goes or whatever happens come into my life, I know that I will be honoring myself in the best way that I know now. And that's what's most important. And for me, this process of really working through this fear, has been like peeling back onion layers. I go through part of how I'm feeling about it. I work through part of it. I work through part of really honoring myself, and then something else may come up. And then I work through that again. But I will tell you, I feel like I am so close right now to just a big breakthrough of letting go. And I am doing the best that I can to just honor the person that I know I am. And I hope for you that you can come to a place in your life where you're ready to admit what your fears are. Because like the message I got, people perceive us through the way we show ourselves through our fears. And I know one thing. I want to let go of my fears. I want to let go of my fears so people are not perceiving me a certain way. I want people to just see me for who I am, completely, authentically, and whole. And I know that the only way I am able to do that is if I let go of all of the fears that are holding me back from reaching my truest, most authentic self. So I encourage you this week to really think about how people perceive you through your fears. Think about some things that people may have said to you that upset you or made you angry. And go back and think why that perception might have come into play. Is it something that could be a fear of yours that you didn't even know you were showing to people? And I want you to pick at least one of those fears and come clean. Come clean with yourself, or tell a friend, or get on the Facebook page, Tune In with Molly, to the group and share. I really want to make that group a community where we can all support each other in our soul growth. And with that, I am going to leave you with a beautiful singing bowl meditation that is going to allow you to just begin to release anything that might be allowing that fear to thrive within you. So if you have a place where you can sit or lie down, I do not suggest doing this while you're driving. Please set the intention, if you are ready, to let go of your fear and to allow yourself to be seen for your true, authentic self. If you're looking for more soul growth meditations, please click on the link where you can purchase my Soul Growth Rest, Restore, Repair meditation. I would also love to have you on my subscriber email list so that you can hear of any new things that may be occurring. If you're looking for some individual services such as soul sound, voice, or soul clearing sessions, you can click on the link in the notes for my services page. And check out my website, Tune In with Molly. Follow me on Instagram, Pinterest, and Facebook. Have a beautiful, blessed week full of authentic soul growth. Thank you for tuning in with me today. If you are enjoying the podcast, please like it and share it with your friends and family. To learn more about my soul movement coaching, sound therapy, and other services, you can visit my website at www.tuneinwithmolly.com.